Welcome back to Channel Name. Today's story is something straight out of a science fiction movie. Imagine meeting someone who claims they're not from Earth. Sounds insane, right? Well, this is the story of a man who insists he came from another planet, bringing with him strange knowledge and predictions that have captivated and terrified millions. Let's dive into his spine-chilling tale. Most of us picture alien encounters as fleeting visits, just brief pit stops on Earth. But what if extraterrestrial life could actually be right at home here among us? What if aliens are already here, blending in and keeping their presence hidden? Welcome to Topax. Today, we're diving into fascinating stories of people who claim to be aliens or to have had contact with beings from other worlds. Take Pharaoh Akhenaten, one of ancient Egypt's most enigmatic rulers. His statues have puzzled historians for centuries, with their peculiar and striking features. Akhenaten's appearance stands out. His androgynous traits, wide hips, elongated head, almond-shaped eyes, and pronounced chin are all at odds with traditional Egyptian depictions of pharaohs. This radical departure from the norm has sparked intriguing questions. Was he fully human, or was there something otherworldly about him? Some experts believe that Akhenaten's unusual look wasn't just artistic license or an exaggeration of royal traits. They suggest his unique appearance might hint at something deeper, a possible connection to extraterrestrials. After all, ancient history holds countless mysteries, and this one is among the most captivating. Egypt has long been a civilization shrouded in mystery, seeming almost connected to worlds beyond our own. With their advanced astronomical knowledge and astonishing building techniques, Egyptians achieved feats that still baffle scientists today. One intriguing case involves another pharaoh, Tutankhamun, who may have had ties to something extraterrestrial. Among the treasures found in his tomb by archaeologist Howard Carter in 1925 was a remarkable dagger that stood out for both its craftsmanship and its mysterious origin. This wasn't just any dagger. Known as the extraterrestrial dagger, it was crafted from an iron meteorite, a metal so rare in ancient Egypt that it was even more precious than gold. Early iron artifacts in Egypt were often made from meteoric metal due to its scarcity. In fact, scientific analysis, including modern X-ray fluorescent spectrometry, has confirmed the dagger's high nickel content, a hallmark of meteoritic iron, setting it apart from earthly iron sources. Some even believe the dagger could be linked to Martian meteorites found in the region. The story of this otherworldly dagger is one of many that suggest ancient Egypt's connection to the cosmos. And as we'll see, the mysteries don't end here. Now, here's a claim that might raise some eyebrows: property ownership. But not just any property. This one was claimed to be not on Earth. Dean Lindsay, an American, tried to purchase land beyond our planet. Yes, you heard that right. He sent a letter to a notary in Pittsburgh, along with a case and the funds to back his claim to extraterrestrial real estate. The story caught public attention, and soon people were even offering to buy some of his off-world properties. But Lindsay wasn't the only one with such ambitious dreams. Over the years, many individuals and organizations have tried to lay claim to land in outer space. However, despite the intrigue, these claims are entirely powerless in a legal sense, as both the 1967 Outer Space Treaty and the 1979 Moon Treaty make clear private ownership of extraterrestrial land is strictly prohibited. It's a fascinating idea, but personally, I'm not sure I'd want to invest in such real estate. Too expensive and, well, it's a bit too far to commute. I'll take a cozy home in the suburbs, thanks. Speaking of strange stories, let's shift to something even more bizarre: a mysterious teleportation incident in Southeast Asia during the 16th century. This tale, only revealed centuries later, still sparks debate among historians and paranormal enthusiasts today. However, the story has no physical evidence to back it, just the lingering question: fact or fiction? Some intriguing theories suggest the existence of alien abductions or even interdimensional portals, particularly in cultures where the paranormal is almost a part of everyday life. While historians struggle to verify the authenticity of certain stories, one of the most bizarre and captivating tales comes from the Philippines. In 1698, Gaspar de San Agustin first documented the strange case of Gil Perez, a man who reportedly vanished from his post in Manila, only to reappear in Mexico without any explanation. Some believed Perez's sudden relocation was the result of witchcraft. Later, Dr. Antonio de Morga also mentioned the incident in his historical works, noting the remarkable coincidence that news of the governor's death reached Mexico the very same day Perez arrived. Perez's journey remains one of the most perplexing legends of the past, adding to the list of fantastic events that defy explanation. Then, there's the fascinating story of Boris Kiprianovich, a Russian who claims to remember his past life one supposedly spent on Mars. Born on January 11, 1996, Boris immediately caught his parents' attention with his extraordinary abilities. By 4 months, he was speaking words, and by 8 months, he was forming full sentences. At just 2 years old, he began drawing almost exclusively depicting cosmic landscapes. He also showed a keen interest in astronomy, and by the age of 7, Boris was already speaking in depth about space and planets. Was he remembering a life on Mars? Or is there something more to this story that we don't yet understand? Here's a more engaging rewrite of your script. Boris Kiprianovich's stories about life on Mars were so detailed and compelling that they quickly captured the attention of a visiting professor. His tales were so convincing that a sensational article was published in Pravda, Russia's leading newspaper. At just 11 years old, Boris gave an extensive interview where he described entire civilizations on Mars, civilizations that, according to him, were destroyed by nuclear war. He claimed that he had been reborn on Earth with a mission to help humanity avoid the same fate. But that's not all. Boris also spoke about other indigo children like himself, Martians born on Earth. He even made a cryptic prediction about the Sphinx in Egypt. Human life will change when the Sphinx opens. There's an opening mechanism somewhere behind its ear, though I don't remember exactly where. Now, at 28, Boris lives a relatively normal life away from the public eye. However, theories about his past and his current activities still spark curiosity, often resurfacing in discussions. Was he just a boy with a vivid imagination, spinning tall tales? Or did his story leave such a deep impression on UFO enthusiasts because there's more to it than meets the eye? Many continue to believe that Boris might just be a true Martian. What do you think? Could a young boy with such a vivid imagination be telling the truth, or are we just hearing an elaborate fantasy? Is there a connection between paranormal abilities and extraterrestrial civilizations? While many dismiss these stories as mere tales, others believe there's more to them, perhaps even an otherworldly link. Take the case of Nina Kulaga, a Soviet woman who became famous for her extraordinary psychic abilities. She claimed to have telekinesis and psychokinesis, powers that were studied for over 20 years by research institutes. Born in 1926, Kulaga joined a tank regiment in the Red Army at just 14 years old during World War II. After the war, she lived a quiet life as a housewife, but her talents would eventually catapult her into the international spotlight in the 1960s. Soviet authorities filmed her in laboratory conditions, capturing stunning footage of her moving objects from a distance. The black and white films sparked worldwide fascination, with researchers of the paranormal eager to understand her abilities. Some even speculated that her powers were connected to extraterrestrial origins, while others thought her tricks were aided by magnets or threads. As the saying goes, seeing is believing. But what do you think? Could there be more to her abilities than meets the eye? Now, let's turn to one of the most well-known stories of alien abduction, the case of Betty and Barney Hill. This married couple from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, experienced an event on the night of September 19th that would go down in history as one of the most famous alien abduction stories of all time. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill were returning home from their honeymoon in Montreal and Niagara Falls when something extraordinary happened. As they drove through the White Mountains of New Hampshire, they spotted a mysterious object in the sky, its lights flashing and shifting in strange patterns. What began as an ordinary night would soon set off a series of events that would change their lives forever. Betty, with binoculars in hand, saw what looked like a rotating craft hovering above the treetops. Barney, usually a practical and skeptical man, was initially doubtful, but even he couldn't deny the sight of the massive, flat object looming in the sky. Curious, he cautiously stepped out of the car to get a closer look. That's when he saw something that would haunt him forever: gray figures behind the craft's windows. Terrified, he quickly rushed back to the car, and as they drove away, they heard rhythmic beeping sounds coming from the vehicle. It wasn't long before the couple realized something even stranger. Though they had driven 35 miles down the road, they had lost 2 hours of time with no memory of what happened during that gap. When they finally returned home, they discovered mysterious damage to their car and clothing, and both of them felt odd, unexplained sensations in their bodies. Desperate for answers, they sought help from a psychotherapist and underwent hypnosis. The memories that surfaced during their sessions were nothing short of shocking. The Hills reported that they had been taken aboard a spaceship, separated, and subjected to physical examinations by beings they described as aliens, gray-skinned, humanoid figures wearing strange uniforms. What really happened to Betty and Barney that night? Their story remains one of the most compelling and mysterious alien encounters ever recorded. The Hills' harrowing experience didn't end there. They reported that the aliens conducted a series of tests on them, including taking samples of their hair, nails, and skin. Their story, which first hit the headlines in 1965, captivated the public and quickly became one of the most compelling accounts of alien abduction. Despite numerous efforts to debunk their claims, the Hills' experience remains a cornerstone of UFO lore. But the Hills weren't the only ones with such an extraordinary tale. In 1988, a man named Peter F. came forward with his own abduction story. When he was just 8 years old, Peter claimed he was abducted by beings with large pear-shaped heads and almond-shaped eyes. Strangely, he felt an eerie sense of familiarity with them, as if they were old friends, and the aliens seemed to recognize him, responding as though they had known him before. Seeking answers, Peter turned to psychiatrist Dr. John Mack, a Harvard professor who specialized in investigating abduction experiences. Dr. Mack believed that the emotional intensity of Peter's memories suggested they were not just the result of dreams or imagination. Using relaxation techniques and regression therapy, Peter was able to recall more vivid details of the abduction. He described being physically lifted from the ground and transported aboard a spaceship, where he was taken to a larger craft. There, the aliens showed him strange movies and photographs, and he even underwent physical examinations. What happened to Peter that night remains a mystery, but his account adds to the growing number of alien abduction stories that continue to intrigue and fascinate people worldwide. Peter's memories were not only vivid, but also deeply unsettling, including one detail that stood out. He claimed the aliens had taken sperm samples during his abduction. Initially skeptical and uninterested in UFOs, Peter found it hard to dismiss his experiences. However, after speaking with others who had similar encounters, he became convinced of the striking consistency in their stories. Despite this, his account, like many others, remains unverified, and the scientific community largely dismisses such claims. But before you judge, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Then, on the evening of October 11, 1973, another story surfaced that would soon captivate the nation. Calvin Parker and his friend Charles Hickson, while fishing near Pascagoula, Mississippi, claimed they were abducted by aliens in an experience that would forever change their lives. The two men were thrust into the media spotlight, their accounts scrutinized from every angle. At the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, the men were interrogated separately, then left alone in a room. Unbeknownst to them, their private conversation was being recorded. In their discussion, They once again went over the terrifying details of what had happened, their fear palpable. This raw, genuine fear played a crucial role in convincing authorities and eventually the public that their experience might not be a fabrication. This case, which remains one of the most widely discussed in UFO history, continues to spark debates about the truth of their extraordinary claims. The Pascagoula abduction case soon drew the attention of prominent UFO investigators, including renowned ethologist and astronomer Joseph Allen Hynek. Experts flocked to Pascagoula, eager to interview and hypnotize the witnesses. Despite the results of polygraph tests, voice stress analyses, and multiple hypnosis sessions, many remained skeptical of Parker and Hickson's story. However, the event had a profound effect on Parker's life. He lost his job, became a media target, and even went as far as changing his name to escape the constant harassment. Then, in November 1975, another chilling abduction case unfolded. Travis Walton, a logger from Arizona, disappeared while working with his crew in the Apache National Forest. His co-workers reported seeing a hovering UFO followed by a beam of light that struck Walton, causing him to vanish. 5 days later, Walton mysteriously reappeared with an incredible tale of being aboard an alien spaceship. The incident quickly became a media sensation, drawing enormous attention. Walton's account was filled with eerie details. He described being examined by human-like alien beings and finding himself in a room that looked like a planetarium filled with stars. Initially, Walton believed the worst, thinking that he might not make it out alive. According to his descriptions, the beings resembled the typical aliens seen in Hollywood films. The aliens Walton encountered didn't seem hostile, but over time, he began to interpret their actions as a kind of rescue mission. He believed the beings were trying to heal him from some unknown injury. After Walton's disappearance, a police investigation ensued, and his logging crew was subjected to polygraph tests. The results showed that they were telling the truth, confirming that none of them had harmed Walton. Yet, despite the polygraph results, doubts and skepticism lingered. When Walton returned, he was met with mistrust and disbelief, which deeply disappointed him. He insists that the truth of his experience is backed by a multitude of similar reports, including some from official sources. In another fascinating case, Elizabeth Clare, born in South Africa in 1956, also claimed to have encountered extraterrestrial beings. She vividly recalled the experience, insisting it was something she would never forget. Claire described seeing a disc-shaped spacecraft hovering silently over her family's farm, and even claimed to have photographed it. 2 years later, she reported another encounter, this time with an alien named Aeon in the Drakensberg Mountains. Claire recounted how their interaction left a lasting impression, but the details of that meeting remain as mysterious as the beings themselves. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.